10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Winter Wyvern.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Treant Protector.
Admiral's about to finish. Finally calculate the right time.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire
Hello
team
guys and welcome to the ESL One Hamburg EU Qualifiers final. As we are watching, moving on from the previous teams we were watching, we move to the other side and we are watching a Lithium and Spirit duke it out in the last best of 3 for them for the day, as we see the first team to be qualified to the close qualifiers of this tournament. Lithium actually managed to beat, if I'm not mistaken, it was TPB, and it was a 2-1. Meanwhile, Team Spirit beat Marlarino Esports 2-0, and now we get to watch them see who can declare themselves as the winner and advance to the close qualifiers. My name is D Swordfish. I'll be your caster for today. Joining me today will be Tsunami. And how you doing, Tsunami? How's the game treating you?
Well, initially I was excited because it was 2 different teams, and then this Wraith King dude shows up for the 4th game in a row. I don't understand. What happened to Enchantress? What happened to Enchantress?
Apparently, they were all watching Frost's game, and they were like, man, this guy. Apparently, Wraith King wasn't that nerfed to the Wraith Fire Blast nerf. In fact, it didn't affect him at all, because the stupid, spooky skeletons are still the most OP skill in the game, that can farm, push, kill heroes, and do whatever you want. I bet it can find you a wife if you tried hard enough. That's how strong the skill is. But Lithium, at least, is a different start. Winter Wyvern Treant Protector. I mean, I haven't seen this in a while. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I haven't been able to watch too much Lithium. Obviously, these players are fairly well known, and I believe in one of the recent qualifiers, they even managed to take a game off Liquid. I don't think that they won the series.
No, but they were very close.
Yeah,
the Dream League, they were 2-1, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, and so it's heroes that, I mean, players that you know of. I think Pexu is probably the one with the least competitive experience, but the rest of them, like Madara, MNT, or Exad Finum, and Kezu is bounced around, but he's probably most known for his time on Secret. And Spirit are similarly had their own roster changes. So I think Hesajo, his last roster that I remember him being on was Cloud9, which was the ex-Imperial stack. I don't know if he was on something else since then, but FNG, I believe he's been on Spirit for probably the longest, besides him and Viver. I think they were both.
Wasn't Hesajo in the SCA team?
Oh yeah, but that team did not last very long. Yeah.
No, but I think it was Entity, right?
Was it?
I think it was, yeah.
That may have been.
I'm pretty sure. There were a couple teams that were there. Maybe Admiral, I don't know if it was Entity or Admiral that he was in, but one of those SCA teams that took him out of foreigners. I love Hesajo, I'll just say, man. I was the biggest fan of Imperial back in the day. I'm like, these guys will make it tier 1 soon. Then Ace got picked up by Secret, and I was proven,
sure.
And then, no, Ace got kicked by Secret, so, you know, now I'm disproven again.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then if 9, I don't know too much about. I know enough of him that I know he's not Bloody 9, because I remember the other time that I cast him, I was just like, yo, NA players are moving to CIS. I haven't seen that one before. But no, 9 is a different guy. And Skeeter has also been on like those M19 Comanche type teams. I don't know if he's actually been on those, but those random other CIS stacks. So that's my understanding of these 10 players in the game right now.
Yeah, in fact, interestingly enough, both Skeeter and Nine were actually part of a scene that is usually not talked about, but the German scene, you know? Teams like Going In, which are kind of German, the Sanguine Sharks as well, like Armin, for example, that used to be playing for these guys. Goomba Gaming, these kind of teams. They actually did okay for a while, so, you know, there's a relatively lively scene there. And, yeah, I trust New Team Spirit's lineup. I really like it. I'm a big fan of FNG. I'm a big fan of Headset Joe brought in, so I'm sold. But to be honest, Team Lithium with Madara maybe next time, they're also a pretty solid team. And Madara was one of the better carries, honestly, back in the day. He was very underappreciated. I think partially because he didn't speak that much English, and then he actually kind of grew on him. And then when he internationalized, I think he's still a very valuable asset. And you combine this up with Mage, which is like an up-and-coming player, Kezu and Peksu, also relatively well-known in Tier 2 scene. Kezu even had the Stunted Seeker, right? So, well, I like these teams. I think they have a lot of potential.
Yeah, any player good enough to get themselves a Kali Pasta is definitely one to keep your eye on, and Madara is up there. So
that's true.
I'm looking forward to what he's able to bring. Like I said, I didn't get to watch their series against Liquid, but just the fact, granted, Liquid is a little weird right now. They lost to like Mango Bay or whatever, which was some other random stack with like Bone 7 or something. Or no, it was like Cupé and Cupé and Bone 7.
I mean, Mango Bay's been playing around for a bit. You know, they're not random. We all feel like you're being very disdainful to these poor Mango guys. They're actually
Liquid, they're pretty random.
But Liquid actually did beat them twice, unfortunately, which was.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, they lost to Mango Bay and then they beat them again later in the losers qualifiers, which must really sting. Anyway, enough Dream League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lithium is actually a relatively solid stack, even though Liquid is not the best standing. But I'm actually kind of surprised they weren't invited, probably because ESL One happened so much earlier, right? Like the invites and everything happened a lot earlier, so this team is relatively new, so they have to go through opens. But there's a chance to prove themselves. Honestly, I wish both of these teams could make it through.
That's a good question. So, okay, so Alliance and Windstrike are the only invites into this qualifier, and then there were 2 open qualifier slots. So we watched the other side of the open qualifier slot, which would be TFT versus either Espada or that other Urukai, and then this side is Spirit Lithium. One of these will. Well, so whoever wins this is going to go to the closed qualifier, right?
Yeah, exactly, and then they will have to fight. Yeah.
Windstrike or Alliance. Okay, I see.
Windstrike or Alliance. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then you're right. I think the qualifier happening later, pretty much. Well, I guess Alliance also qualified for Dream League, and Windstrike are still riding the high from their TI victory, or not victory, but at least TI success, relatively speaking, to what people expected of them. So this region, especially when you combine EU and CIS, I can definitely see that slots are going to be hard to come by.
I thought Alliance qualified. Yeah, they qualified for Kuala Lumpur, man, not Dream League.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So even more, it's major, not a minor.
Exactly. Yeah, they really did it. They did it this time. Alliance is back, somewhat. So, well, we've been talking a lot about the teams, but we actually haven't been talking about this draft, and we actually got a couple uncommon picks, especially on the Lithium side. So, what do you think? Batrider, Tripitator, Winter Wyvern? I haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, it's possible that they're showing a lot of respect to the Wraith King Skeletons, like you said. So they already had the Wyvern early on for some wave clear, but in the laning phase, Wyvern can't really spam out the Splinter Blast, whereas Batrider almost certainly going to be laning, or picked specifically to lane against the Wraith King. You could go against Enchantress. I've seen it work before, but it's a lot harder than it looks, because Enchantress still has quite a bit of move speed, and Batrider basically needs an early pair of boots to actually take advantage of all this sticky napalm into Firefly damage to ignore the untouchable right clicks. So I'm leaning towards this Batrider laning up against the Wraith King, and then in the mid to late game, another great way to burn down all the skeletons, because can't control the skeletons, they are going to walk into the fire.
Exactly. That's a very valuable point. They do have the 50% magic resistance though, which is, I guess, kind of good to deal with that. But obviously the Winter Wyvern can also use their skeletons literally against you. And we will be seeing another Arc Warden, so that's exciting. Clearly a weak hero, but you know, he gets picked sometimes because some people really make him work. What can you do? It's gonna be 9 Arc Warden. I've never seen that before, I'll say.
Oh, so he's Spirit's mid player.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and you have Skeeter being the carry.
Okay. Yeah. So...
And I believe I haven't seen Skeeter play Arc Warden carry, to be honest. So I don't think it's him. Because I haven't followed him for a bit. I don't actually know that much about him.
Yeah, and I'm not really a big fan of one position Arc Warden. In fact, I don't think I ever see him in any other lane other than mid. I mean, granted, I'm sure
Yeah,
he could
Ace.
do like a lane swap.
Yeah, Ace is the only guy who still plays him in carry position, and Chappie back in the day, but not anymore. But Ace still plays him in the carry position. He goes for the Spark Wraith build with 204. It's actually kind of scary because Ace is really good on him, and you wonder, what if Ace played mid? Would he just be like actually win the game, as opposed to this crap that is a Arc Warden as a safe lane? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know Ace has a tendency to take it over like whenever he runs Meepo or something like that. But yeah, that's actually surprising. I don't know if I've seen the Arc Warden. I might have to look that up because I'm very curious. So what is his skill build primarily?
For Arc Warden, and Arc Warden as a carry always or tends to max Spark Wraith, so you always go 204, and sometimes you even go. I have seen Ace go for even 114, or even the mid one build if you haven't seen it, which is 141, which is very interesting, very fascinating build. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that, but then I definitely can see the carry potential, but not going to happen this game, unfortunately. As much as Magnetic Field Max is going to be pretty effective, because Enchantress is going to be able to take advantage of it. She's just going to chuck impetuses all into whoever Lithium choose to pick as their one position. I don't know why they banned out Broodmother. That is, like, sure, you always have to worry about getting brooded, but, like, this seems like a terrible pick to round out a draft like this with the Broodmother. They need a traditional one position on the side of Lithium, because you are up against a Wraith King who we've seen to be very flexible in terms of item builds, so you can't really rely on mana burning or anything like that. Yeah, Alchemist is a little bit more reliable, still not as traditional as I was expecting, but maybe Mage just likes it.
You know, I think that I like the... Oh, wait, actually, I'm gonna reconnect to the call, 1 second.
Yeah.
Alright, that should be... Discord, just bad day today. I actually like the Alchemist, even though he is... I do agree you need a traditional carry in this situation, but I think a carry like Alchemist that can really take advantage of the space that you're going to be creating for him. Like, you have a Moran and Batrider, both are relatively space-creating cores, with Interpreter to Winter Wyvern, also very good in 4 and 5 engagements, which allows Alchemist a lot of space to farm in the early game. Alk is actually really good against Arc Warden, not in the laning phase, but afterwards, because, you know, he just destroys him with the Unstable Concoction. Makes him kind of a useless hero because Arc doesn't like going for BKB most of the time. And I know I do think it's a good synergistic hero with their team. I also kind of scared of Mage Alchemist. I know it's one of his better heroes.
My issue is just the push is minimal at best on the side of Lithium. Like, they really have no one who feels comfortable hitting structures, even whenever they're grouped. Like, split push is going to be entirely reliant on whenever Alchemist manages to get Manta-style Radiance. Otherwise, the rest of his team are just going to be buying time. Whereas on Spirit, you have Enchantress who can, you know, grab a creep and dominate a lane all by herself. You have Arc Warden, who's obviously well known for pushing. Wraith King being able to grab some creeps, and you're going to have to force Winter Wyvern or Batrider to come over to Wraith King's lane and get rid of all those creeps, because those are the only heroes with AoE spells. Alchemist's Acid Spray is not going to really do damage quickly enough, I don't think, before Wraith King jumps all over you.
No, probably not. And the Wraith King can burst you down, obviously, really quickly. You took out with the Arc Warden, especially. They do have a lot of control for you. Hero,
not really good armor, and we've seen how quickly these skeletons can deal damage whenever they're given just a little bit of crowd control.
And you get a lucky crit, you know, especially.
Yeah.
That would destroy him, especially now that Alchemist doesn't go for the armlet build, which allows you to have like an extra 9 armor. So now you don't have that. Now you just Alchemist armor, which is absolutely pathetic, and you don't have a great agility gain either. We'll see. I don't know. He's good against the Phoenix though. He actually, the Enchantress causes a bit of trouble, but you can always go for the Blade Mail build to kind of itemize against it. I like the synergy within him, but I kind of have to agree with you that maybe the picks in the enemy team are good to counter.
Yeah, we'll see how, I guess, Nine's itemization is also going to be equally interesting. I am really, like, I saw so many Arc Wardens gravitating away from the Midas First during TI. Like, Rezo didn't get it, Arteezy didn't get it, and I really like that different take on Arc Warden. But since TI ended and more qualifiers have been happening, more and more teams, whenever they pick the Arc Warden, they keep going back to the Midas build. Right now, I see a Necrobook level 1 in Nine's Quick Buy. That is something I have not seen before. I've seen, like, Maelstroms early on, I've seen Aquila's early on. Necro without any other first item is not something I'm familiar with in the professional scene, at least.
Yeah, mid one is the guy who invented this build actually in TI.
Really?
He used it a couple of times in Secret. Yeah, it was remember the build I was telling you earlier. So it's 1-for-1. You actually max magnetic field and you go for the Necros. It's a very interesting build. I don't know if he's gonna go exactly for the mid one build, but actually won 2 games in the group stages with a Secret. Very good, very interesting build. I was very fascinated by that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, fascinating.
Whatever the case,
stuff,
it's not Midas first, and that's the build that I'm really not that keen on it anymore. As 3 bounty runes get picked up by Hestejo, Rotten is going to give up his life for it. No, Fairy Fire.
Alright. I mean, they're slowing him down. Oh, no, the Afterburn already got used, so he's not going to be killed off there. Good job. Sith Force Ninja attendance level 1, but I guess not that big a deal for an Enchantress. It doesn't really matter if you go for that on Untouchable.
Yeah, especially since she has a dual lane situation. If it was just her, then solo, it would have been a little bit worse. And looks like MNT is going to head on to the top lane.
What's interesting here is, how are the lanes? Again, I asked you this because the metas is so important. You know, the lanes are like kind of how you win the game. So
yeah, the reason people keep going for these 2-1-2s is because, you know, obviously tri-lanes are out of fashion. You want to have an advantage in at least one half of the map confidently. And MNT going up again to the top lane, Phoenix I'm just not really that big of a fan of as a support. I don't think many people consider Phoenix to be a very strong support. FNG likes the hero quite a bit. In a dual lane situation, I feel like, again, I discount the power of the Wraith King because Phoenix, like, not being able to take advantage of the Sunray as much and being very vulnerable against 2 ranged heroes when you have 0 armor, you just can't trade hits, especially against Archburn. That's impossible to trade hits against. And Skeeter's getting abused right now in this top lane.
Yeah, it is. Another arrow actually will hit in. Do they have a lead? But no, Madar's only level 1, but the damage might be sufficient. Skeeter, careful. Oh, those spirits actually saved Skeeter's life with the minus attack speed. And FNG proving you wrong. Those spirits are very valuable there.
Well,
I don't know. Kaka likes
really want your Wraith King to have to burn a salve this early on, though.
Jesus, always raining on my parade of Phoenix support. I think is actually an interesting position. I like when Kaka played it for newbie as well. Loved playing that. Very, very popular pick for him.
That's true, it was.
I don't know. I agree with you that it's not that impactful in the lanes, but I think at the mid game you kind of have this extra core that's always very useful. It's kind of halfway core because of his talent as well.
Yeah, and that's what makes hitting level 6 so important for a Phoenix. So whenever they're given this priority, I guess like whenever I envision supports, like mid lane Peksu gets a punch on a courier.
Yeah, I saw that. Animal abuse
again,
here.
Skeeter still taking abuse. It's just whenever I see 2-1-2 lane setups, then I always think like, okay, you've got your core versus core matchup, and then you've got the support versus support matchup, and these are the 4 heroes that are going to be trading hits. And Phoenix is just not good at trading hits unless the Fire Spirits is up. And if Fire Spirits is up, then you have to take damage yourself to even spawn. So that's why I'm always apprehensive about seeing Phoenix in a 2-1-2 setup. In tri-lanes, I like Phoenix, assuming that he can eventually hit level 6. But I don't know, in 2-1-2s I'm always a little bit wary.
Bottom lane hits the Joy, is gonna get destroyed, and here's a matchup. Oh wait, Peksu actually also gets a kill. No, Peksu got the kill at bottom lane, but in the mid lane it's actually 9 who gets the kill against Mage, thanks to the help from Beaver. Nice rotation. And this is a matchup we haven't really talked about, but Bad Rider destroys the Enchantress. Super easy to win this lane. Honestly, there's very little ways you can actually get away from a Bad Rider but running away. And top lane, that was just FG's playing around and screwing up.
Boots first for Kazu is definitely the game changer. Like I said, Enchantress is very fast. But she has to manipulate her movement effectively to be able to get out of Firefly.
And with the sticky napalm, the movement becomes less of a way to escape tool, right? Heroes like Luna or Enchantress that really rely on that extra movement speed don't do well against Bat Rider because he's just like, oh, I don't care, I'll take it away from you. Also, Kezu's a fantastic Bat Rider. Used to be his best hero, right? Back in the day. There was the Kezu Bat Rider, Kezu Timbersaw. That's what you know him for.
Man, Timbersaw, what happened to that hero?
It was picked, I think, twice maybe in TI group stages or so. And he's very, very dead. Not that great in dual lanes. Like, actually, the worst in dual lanes, to be honest.
Pretty much. But all things considered, they've left Hestejo in a solo situation. He has not really had too much help.
Good?
It doesn't seem like it, because Kezu's getting free farm. At the minimum, it's keeping Peksu busy, but I don't even think Peksu needs to be here that much. Like you said, Kezu, as a Bat Rider, should be able to do fairly well against an Enchantress, but I can definitely understand why Biver's moving around, because, I mean, Earth Spirit's not going to offer anything in that 2-1-2 setup, but he has not really found very much. He got that kill in the mid lane, but and he managed to hit level 3, so he's getting something done. Is now Skeeter.
Top lane, yeah. He's about to die, but FNG here trying to save his life by burning the Mirana up. He's out of spirits. FNG realizes why he should have been playing Phoenix. Oh, the stick actually saves Madara, but FNG, sorry, the stick saves FNG and Madara as well there. And now FNG chased out. They use the arrow for vision. They have a star from FNG. Really don't go near him. Starstorm will miss. FNG gets hit by the second star, and that actually guarantees the kill as Skeeter tried to harass the Winter Wyvern away, couldn't do it. He does have a stun though, but the lack of boots make it so he can't get close to that Winter Wyvern. What an awkward initiation.
Man, it's such a shame Beaver didn't have a TP, because if he was able to show up at that top lane engagement, they could have almost certainly killed off the Mirana and the Wyvern, but he was just walking around. He has his boots, but he didn't know whether to commit and how long that fight was going to go. He thought it would have been more valuable to make Sheet possibly get a kill on Alchemist in the mid lane, but yeah, down goes FNG, and Phoenix is not really being able to provide too much support to Skeeter, but on the bright side, since so much resources went down bot lane.
Headset's dead again. Sorry, I don't know why. It's just an easy kill. It's way too easy.
He even got
actually bit though.
So early on.
Mage is much more interesting. Now level 6 is ready. 9 gets the double flux. Mage, don't get away from the creeps. Really good job now. Putting him there, or freezing him right next to the creeps, so the flux damage is actually taken away. Mage might still die though. The Arc close trying this. There's a rolling boulder. Mage actually gets his level 6 in the middle of his team fight, and now he can survive the damage. Boulder smash won't save Beaver, or Biver, sorry, as Biver gets killed off by Mage. Wow, that was a hectic team fight I've seen.
What a narrow time to get Chemical Rage. I don't know if he would have died regardless. I think that there was a living armor on him, which Peksu did opt to take early on. Sometimes we see, like, completely skipping the living armor to go for more points in guys in the Leech Seed, but he takes it early on, and Mage does end up surviving. So it's a recovery, but it was a very, very close call for sure.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they took advantage of the Arc Ward level 6, but I think they overestimate how strong the peak is. It's good, but you always need to do it when the creeps are gone, so you can really take advantage of the double Tempest double. And there were far too many creeps. Like, once the range creep is still there, as Arc Warden, you just lose a lot of your ability to just completely flux someone, right? Yeah. And look at his build. He is going for Necronomicons, but not the mid 1 build. So, interesting.
What's the difference?
So mid 1 with max magnetic field as opposed to flux.
Right.
Yeah. To really maximize the damage from the Necronomicons.
So are the Necros still good this early on if you don't have Flux? I mean, magnetic field? I mean, I guess you can roam around.
I haven't tried this.
Flux kills, but I don't really know if roaming Arc Warden is the best way to take the hero. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure because you do lose out a lot of pushing power. Even at least 1 point the magnetic field relatively early would be a good idea. Oh, actually the Phoenix. Okay, this is going to be a team, but apparently goes back only into 1. There's the Wraith Fire Blast from Skeeter. The goal is the Mirana. They can't kill her off. Then the Cold Embrace for now. Madara just actually hurting with a Starstorm, forcing Skeeter away. Instead, going for Peksu. Do they have vision of him? They do not. No Sentries or Dust at all from Team Spirit. Instead, the bottom lane, they're actually going to lose Henson Joy and Roten as Ketsu gets yet another kill, but as a counter kill, 9 does take him down. Oh, I guess that's the advantage of Max.
Oh, no, wait. Phoenix also died out in the top lane because he catches him with a lucky arrow. Skeeter wants to continue. Maybe next time, though, sees an opportunity to attack Skeeter. And instead, his reincarnation's ready, so they can't kill him. All right.
So definitely more elastic lanes than we had seen in the previous series. This there was like a minimal laning phase at best. All the heroes have been moving around. Beaver, yeah. Now you've got me saying it. Biver.
I'm sorry, man. I actually don't know how his name is actually meant to be pronounced.
Yeah, it's Biver. I can guarantee it's Biver. For sure? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about Skeeter, though. I don't know if it's Skyder or Skeeter or whatever. But I do know it's Biver, who gets a silence off on...
Yeah, Mirana, Madara, Madara, oh, close to dying. Leech Seed might help him out here. Oh, no, the Cold Embrace! Cancel the TP! Skeeter is ready to kill off Madara. They just need another Fire Blast. They lose Viper, but they don't care. They just want to kill off Madara. Crit midway, not enough. And actually, the Tango takes the Wraith Fire Blast residual damage, which means that Skeeter can't get that kill, loses 2 supports in the process, and almost got hit by an arrow as well. Wow, Madara surviving till the end.
Everyone's talking about how nerfs to Wraith King don't matter. I definitely saw a kill that should have happened in 7.19 B that did not happen in 7.19. Well, we're on D now, right? Or C?
C, D? I don't mind.
Whatever the case, it got nerfed, and we saw it right there. That DOT was minimal at best, and that Cold Embrace like calculated, obviously. The TP, you know, what if he got crit while he was TPing, you know? Can't take that risk. Just go for the cold embrace. You leveled it early on, might as well take advantage of it.
I love that play because it was like he TP'd. You don't have to TP. You could just been cold embrace without wasting that TP, but he just had to do that for effect, right? Showing your teammate like how to play better. There's like a pub. Maybe next time it's like, no, you shouldn't be TPing there. You're gonna die, idiot. It was a nice play. I think Lithium right now is playing actually quite well. 9-2. They got a lot of farm on the Alchemist. Yes, the Archwarden's farm as well, but I do think the Alchemist has a higher, earlier impact. And I'll be honest, I don't know how this Necronomicon build will work out for him.
I don't know, the Necro will work.
He's still going Midas.
Enchantress is gonna work either in the bot lane.
Oh, Hands of Joy, you're right. There's a little border come in. Hands of Joy, I think it's dead. No, Polar Smash might save. Nice Biver, saving his life. No, that's not happening. Even with infused raindrops, it's just not enough, man.
It's the last hit. One of the slowest animations in the game against Untouchable manages to kill off the Enchantress. Yeah, this is going very, very poorly for Spirit right now.
So here's the question: how much impact can Archwarden have when you go for a build like this, where it's early Necronomicon, but then Midas afterwards? I feel like it's a waste of Necronomicon.
This is a what do they call it? Recovery Midas, I believe is the phrase.
Like the All-Star game where Arteezy was playing Techies for the first time.
Exactly.
That's my image of a recovery Midas.
That's how it feels right now. Is they gonna silence on? Oh, Winter's Curse though.
Nice Winter's Curse.
That.
In fact, arrow? No, Madara missed the timing. Doesn't leap. No, maybe the crit. Second crit by Skeeter and silenced up. Madara might actually just die down for now. He's surviving thanks to that armor. Oh, that living armor allows Madara to taunt away as he TPs back home.
This has to be incredibly frustrating for Spirit. You've got to deal with Cold Embrace constantly saving people at the last second. Living armor. There's the Chemical Rage as well. Once you think you have someone dead and all of a sudden they come back from the grave and you've committed so heavily because you're assuming you get the kill, but enemy team who is running away, they still got plenty of mana even if they don't have that much HP, and I can't believe how close Madara has been to death on so many occasions and still gotten out.
Yeah, Madara is actually allowed to play very aggressively because of this living armor. I think that's really benefit the guys at Lithium because they put so much pressure in this top lane, right? That Mage could just have a free farm fest. I mean, Arc Warden was essentially supposed to beat Mage alone, which is really difficult once you get the Chemical Rate. It's almost impossible to beat him.
Blink
and, yeah, Heads of Joy is also having the worst game of its life. And this is why Enchanters might be really strong, but you know, there's always a counter to everything in Dota, right? And Bat Rider is the best counter to Enchanters. He even went for a Blink Dagger build. No Chinese Bat Rider drums build. Screw that. Going straight for the Blink to kill off the Enchanters. I like it.
Yeah, when you've got as much setup as like a Mirana arrow and unstable concoction, I think it's definitely worth going for the Blink Dagger over the drum. Especially because he doesn't need to sit in his lane. He did his job. He completely shut down the Enchantress. Normally I feel like we see the drum build a little bit more when like the Bat Rider's alternating between lanes and ganks and lanes and ganks. But Kazu's just gonna stay off the map as much as possible. Bot lane.
Bottom lane, we're seeing a gank against Skier this time. I think he is gonna go down, or maybe not. Mirana chasing after him. They do just need one more arrow, and they do get it. Even though Madara is silenced, he does not have any leaps anyway, so it's fine. Moonlight Shadow not used. They want to continue his Biver in trouble in the tree. Starstorm killing off all the skeletons, and now Biver will also be finished off by Lithium. Wow, we're taking the game by storm. In exchange, they do lose a tier 1 tower mid lane though. 9 taking advantage of those Necronomicon creeps for something.
I mean, if you're gonna build a Necro, you better take the tier 1 tower if it's taking 3 heroes to kill your Wraith King. But yeah, he's completed the Midas now, and now he's going for the BOTs. This build is like all over the place, really.
Yeah.
So for the mid 1 build, does he go to level 3 Necro book? What does he do?
He just skips Midas entirely. He maxes that magnetic field. Actually goes magnetic field and spark wraith and doesn't even get points in flux. So I'm not really concerned about that. And then he goes for travels early with the Maelstrom as well. So I like that build. It's actually very cohesive. Like when you watch it, you're like, wow, this guy's really smart to discover this.
Yeah, but this is like
whereas I'm watching 9
build right now that 9 has.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Book and a little bit of push, but I'm gonna max out flux. You know, I'll get a Midas here and there, maybe some BOTs for push. I mean, so I guess the BOT and the Necro book kind of have some synergy, but other than that, curse straight on the Enchantress.
Is the Bat Rider here? Oh no, they don't need that. The arrow.
Oh, the arrow hits a creep.
Starstorm though, we'll finish her off. They don't need the arrow, that was just for show. It was just for psychological damage.
722 HP. See, look, another nerf. What was that you were saying about nerfing or strength being irrelevant? Somehow, I'm finding all these B and C patches that are having quite an effect this game.
No, you cannot claim the Spirit is losing because of these patches. They picked the Enchanter to the Wraith King. It seems like those small nerfs really are screwing them over. In fact, Viber also killed off, I think. Yeah, the Firefly, too much damage. So this is why a farmed Bad Rider is so dangerous. The amount of damage he can put out early is absurd. Even Madara just catches a quick kill. I mean, this game is getting out of control.
Yeah, and we haven't, like, did you know that there was an Alchemist in this game? Because there is, and he has a Radiance finished. I know, believe it or not. There has been a fifth player on the side of Team Lithium, and he has been doing work.
I've just been watching my dog.
Sometimes you really don't want your arrow to connect.
The beauty of that was that also you actually cannot tell how many Spark Rays are on top of each other because of the visual bug in Dota. So he just walked in, like, there must be 1 or 2, and there's like 8, because Nine's been preparing this trap for ages. He's forgotten about playing Arc Warden, he's playing Techies now, and he finally gets the kill on Mirage.
Yeah, the melee Necro Creep was like the remote mine, and the other ones were the lands.
Very complex way to play a hero within another hero. That's real skill, you know?
And now, what, he has a Mjolnir recipe, doesn't even have the Maelstrom yet. And I feel like he's anticipating. Arrow on the mid lane.
Yeah, Wraithing could go down. Reincarnation. Are you lost? They says they kill off Vinci in the top lane. It's better than the concoction. No! Nice silence by Biver, saving his teammate's life. Hetsa Joy realizes he cannot help and immediately retreats after the TP.
Well, Mage
that's a tower gun.
He is more than willing to continue the fight. Chemical Rage.
And a Manta, by the way.
Though. What happened?
He has a Manta, like already. 16 minutes in, Radiance Manta, plus treads. Yeah, this guy is.
Now he's getting 32 gold off all these skeletons. No!
There's the real counter to Wraith King is the Alchemist can actually farm the skeletons as opposed to getting the stupid 5 gold that they actually give. I mean, he's just farming without being encased in ice. That's just ridiculous. The real power of an Alchemist.
Yeah, I don't really know how Spirit get back into this game because none of their heroes can kill any of the other, like no one hero on Spirit can kill one hero on Lithium. At best, Arc Warden able to kill off the, Tree Protector, I guess. But even that's a stretch because he's probably just gonna go invis. He can't kill Wyvern because of Cold Embrace and Curse. So, I don't know. Solutions are far and few between for Spirit.
Especially now that the Racing is going to die yet again because it seems like Skeeter won't survive this. They're not even concerned with the Supernova because they know they can kill it off easily with just 4 hits. Now, Tree Protector though, in trouble. The Arc Warden actually comes in and does get the kill onto Peksu as they go for Kenzo as well. Without the Firefly, he's not so buff anymore. Madara forced to TP after Team Spirit, you know, a little bit of a breath of fresh air, killing off 2 heroes. Not the best because you're up against an Alchemist, but you know, it's a start.
Yeah, but Bad Rider is significantly more farmed than the Wraith King, so that exchange definitely comes out in the favor of Spirit. But it also took a lot of heroes to go up there. Granted, 9 does his BOTs completed, so Wraith King is, Arc Warden is getting stuff done on the map, as opposed to in the jungle, which is what we saw the last Arc Warden do in the previous series. But 9, with his variety build, which, dude, what is going on? He has the Mjolnir recipe.
Oh, but Jesus Christ.
But he wasn't even like about to die. I thought the only reason you go for that is if you need to cash out your reliable gold or unreliable gold.
Maybe he is showcasing, like he is telling his teammates, look, I actually have a build, like I swear. this is why
I'm committing to it. I have the recipe. See, I can't go back now.
Yeah, this is the same example as you cheat on your girlfriend once and you just have to showcase that you really will do that this time.
Look at my phone.
Exactly. Look at my phone. Look at my Mjolnir recipe.
I got a text message from Mjolnir recipe. I swear we're together.
I mean, I don't think this build is honestly the best one for Nai. I'm not one much of playing players, but I think he really was all over the place, and this is costing his team a lot.
So what was like the original gameplay? Would it have been Necrobook 3? Because he committed to the Midas very early on, and I don't think the game was going that poorly that you need to be like, oh, gotta go Midas.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. I think maybe he kind of thought, oh wait, Arc Warden Midas is too good to like pass up. But that's the mess up. If you're going for a specific like weird build per se, you have to commit. Oh yeah, I was just watching Hetsa Joy again. Wow, I don't like what do you even say to this poor Hetsa. Can't even show his face in the map. Kenzo has his number, has his address, his mother's address, his whole family. This poor stuff. It's scary.
Yeah, and Peksu's the private detective is finding out all of FNG. Gets the root.
Nice, actually overgrowth there. Catches out the Phoenix. Oh, the Winter Wyvern actually canceled the backbones, but Nine's already died, so this is exactly what the guy in Team Spirit wanted. They sacrificed the Winter Wyvern to get a perfect Winter's Curse setup. They will kill the Wraith King twice again because his whole teammates are gone. His heart's already broken, and soon his face will be as well. And Skater just suffers the wrath of 4 heroes surrounding him and murdering him.
Dire's top tower.
I saw Pexu had his maxed out Treant Protector Dota Plus, and I was like, you better use the line.
I thought for a second that was actually Treant Protector. I thought I was here in the game, so that was really impressive. Congrats.
Thank you.
On point. You should do the Dota lines, you know? Ask him if you can do a Tsunami and Answer pack.
Oh man, the dream.
The dream for any real caster. I mean, the Treant is playing really well, honestly. Pexu is doing a really good job of creating space. Like he called him the private detective. I think it's an on-point description of what he's doing right now.
And that's without his maxed out guys. He opted out to max out Living Armor, which I'm a big fan of. I kind of, the NA Treant Protector that went primary, Leech Seed, and guys, like, it had its purpose, and I guess people have just forgotten how useful Living Armor is, because when maxed out, at 20 minutes in, these heroes are not doing any damage to anyone.
Exactly. And the EU Treant Protector is still very popular. I mean, OG used to play this a lot, right?
That's
Sebastian
true, yeah,
loved this.
did.
And oh, in they go. Wraith King caught out. Like, there's no reincarnation. You can't show yourself without reincarnation. It's too easy. I guess they would have killed him twice anyway. In fact, even Viper can't even go anywhere because the Yules gets him. They do start out the... Oh, wow. 0 range unstable concoction. Alchemist doesn't even receive any damage because of the armor we were talking about. So you're gone. You're gone. Mage can just push out this tower.
And he's got his Octarine core finished. You can just post him up with Living Armor and Cold Embrace, and you don't even need to right-click anything. He will just burn down every single creep wave.
Everything just dies around you.
And though, MNT duking it out with Nine's double.
Who's gonna win? For now, seems like MNT is doing a good job of surviving this, and he wins the round. Manages to keep the tower alive with his goal here. And the Treant does his thing and cures the tower back to full HP. Which is another disgusting thing, and another reason why you get the armor, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was my, like, whenever I play Treant Protector, I don't play him to be aggressive. I play him because my teammates are dumbasses. They can't defend towers, they can't defend themselves. I won't even armor someone if they're aggroed by creeps because they're too stupid to drop the creep aggro.
Yeah, that's, let's see, because Roshan's gonna fall now for Team Spirit. Oh, no, sorry, for, Lithium. Wow, that's it. Team Spirit has no chance of taking Roshan right now.
They wish.
They wish, yeah. They wish they were in that position. I mean, what do you do, actually? Ask. Steve, what's your goal?
Well, again, Nine is doing it the way that I think that the Arc Warden should have in the previous game, which is just like, keep sending out your Tempest Double, even if he dies, whatever. Keep the lanes as far away from your side of the map as possible.
But that didn't work, though.
No. Well, yeah, exactly. This is a different way, because the way that... Who was playing the Arc Warden in the previous game? I don't remember.
Naive.
Naive, yeah. Naive was just jungling the entire time. That didn't work. Pushing out waves, I think that's a little bit marginally more viable.
Yep, I agree. That's probably the only strategy Team Spirit has.
He peeks out.
Okay, that was bad FNG. Yeah, fire versus fire. It seems like Bad Rider is winning in this fight. FNG is just a simple Phoenix support. Honestly, a lot of heroes though in Team Spirit do really badly playing from behind. Earth Spirit, Phoenix, Arc Warden. They don't really like playing
Enchantress.
from behind. Yeah, Enchantress, exactly. I mean, she's okay if she's the one that's behind, but her team's in front, but she's not okay if her whole team is missing.
Yeah. I mean, she managed to get the force stuff, but I don't even think you're going to be able to react fast enough to get away from Kazu's Yule's Blink Dagger initiation.
No, because he can still lasso you in the middle of the force staff, right? If you don't get it fast enough. So you can always go for Ether Lens, which used to be a build on Bad Rider, remember back in the day, just to get lasso with a bit of range. That's interesting. And now they will get the tower in the bottom lane. I mean, it's too easy to push right now for Lithium. They don't need pushing power like you mentioned in the draft because they just don't. They're just winning by too much, right? That's their goal. Kezu though will go in, Firefly and ready, hoping to catch maybe the Phoenix here. I mean, obviously ideally the Arc Warden, but or Enchantress. Yeah, Enchantress seems like the best target. Instead, go for Phoenix. It's simple in Supernova. Mage can't be killed anyway as mages, so that's fine. So now kill off the Phoenix, and FNG's gone. For now though, Mage something a lot of damage. The Cold Embrace only saving him for a bit more, as actually Mother Styles away, has the Chemical Rage, sorry, and actually activates it. Wow, did he just evade the Wraithfire Blast?
I didn't think that was possible anymore.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Never mind. It's a disjoint now. It's not like the. So it used to be that you were like banished at the split second.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't kill it.
Now it's a disjoint. Oh, actually he goes in. Whoa, bullet smash doesn't really matter because the chemical range just keeps on hitting and they destroy 9. Without radiance, it's good enough. In fact, Skeeter comes back in to 4 heroes waiting for him at Death's Door. Poor Skeeter. That force that will help out actually stopping Mage, but he still has the Aegis, and in 4 seconds he will have the unstable, the chemical rage again. Sorry, Mage. Unstable concoction, stunning out a couple heroes, but for now he will be losing his first life. How will they save him? Kenzo doesn't have a lasso just yet. Chemical rage in the ready. They do stun him out for now. Benedict Field to increase some of the damage, but Mage not too concerned about this. They got too close to Benedict Field, not the best, and the Supernova wasn't completed in time.
Well, it's quite a bit of damage, but not structural damage, just emotional and monetary damage. It costs an Enchantress buyback and an Arc Warden buyback, but you didn't lose any towers, so all things considered, it could have gone a lot worse. But still, 26k net worth advantage, 1k net worth per minute right now. Lithium advantage. That's absurd. And before I get off topic, yeah, so I forgot, but the thing that you couldn't do anymore is dodge your own unstable concoction. So you used to be able to do that by activating Chemical Rage right before it detonates. You can't do that anymore. But Chemical Rage is just a straight up disjoint. As soon as you activate it, it's like activating a Manta style, so that's why the Wraithfire Blast didn't connect.
Yeah, but it's still 0.1 seconds, so it's really hard to get.
No, it disjoints as soon as you cast it. And
oh, really? Oh, okay,
so if the
right.
projectile's in progress, then it's basically like blinking away from it.
I thought it worked like the old true form, you know, which was impressive to watch a good player.
That was always fun. Mainly just because I loved watching people dodge their own unstable concoctions, but unfortunately that's not possible anymore.
Well, Mage really doesn't need to dodge all these things though, because he is god right now. I mean, he has Shivas now. There's no way they can catch him with anything. In fact, what we talked about last game, which we wanted, or second game that we watched, with the Storm with the Shivas.
Right.
It's a great counter Wraith King. Armor, so stop his damage, and also the slow.
Yeah, and more AoE damage to burn off his skeletons as well, which have just been food for Alchemist. So what the stat that they need to add to this new scoreboard, they need to get like creeps killed or summons killed or stuff like that, or whatever like Layers has, like where the gold came from, like that kind of pie chart. That would be, you will see a lot of gold from skeletons this game, because Wraith King can't do it. What's he gonna do? Not cast Mortal Strike? He has to. Wow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, talking about Mortal, the Wraith King shows his mortality as he dies once and perhaps twice as well. Skeeter can stop him at the concoction, force to the save. Come on, he's out of the Benedict Field though, which is bad. And now with the Winter Scourge is on the map, they've set up on the Arc Warden. It should be an easy kill. After the concussion, they're set up with a nice stun, and Arc Warden is dead. He can't even do anything. Stunned for too long as Madara just keeps on wreaking havoc in the enemy team lines. The GG has been called by Team Spirit. They give up. Lithium is just too strong right now.
First series that we saw, it seemed like both teams were just kind of stacks. Lithium looks like a team. They were moving together. Strategy from the draft was like this Wyvern Treant strat was like a bigger strat than we had seen throughout the entire first